I'm here at World Showcase for the 2019 Flower and Garden Festival. It is one of the many festivals that take place here at Epcot every year. Today, it feels like there are more days with a festival than without, but that wasn't always the case. There was a time when the concept was new, and that was back in 1984. That summer, Epcot Center was still just under 2 years old. The park was new and different and exciting, but it wasn't what you'd traditionally think of when you thought of a theme park. It was more of a perpetual World's Fair than another Magic Kingdom. And while today that's a strength that many feel sets Epcot apart from its surrounding parks, it initially caused a problem for Disney. As it turned out, Florida locals visiting Walt Disney World didn't feel the need to revisit Epcot the way they did with the Magic Kingdom. And while Disney never formally released the figures, they did admit in a 1984 Orlando Sentinel article that resident attendance at Epcot Center fell off after the first year it was open. It was a problem they needed to fix, and they decided to try and fix it with a festival called WorldFest. WorldFest was initially a year-long event that kicked off in September of 1984 to coincide with the grand opening of the new Morocco Pavilion. The idea was that every month would be dedicated to a single country and world showcase, featuring food, music, and performances from that specific nation. Just in time for Oktoberfest, the month of October was dedicated to Germany. The celebration then continued with Italy in November, the UK in December, China in January, Canada in February, France in March, Japan in April, Mexico in May, and the US in June, July, and August. As for Norway, there was nothing for Norway. The Norway Pavilion wouldn't actually be built for another 4 years. Beyond just musical performances, food, and merch, special guests sometimes attended the opening ceremonies of that month's celebration. For instance, Carol Thatcher, daughter of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, attended the UK ceremony, and actor-comedian Pat Morita, most famous for his role in The Karate Kid, attended the Japan Pavilion ceremony. The hope was that by changing up the celebration every month, they would give locals enough of a reason to keep coming back. And while they kept the numbers to themselves once again, they claimed that they heavied up on a local TV and print advertising campaign that was supposedly their largest to date. Did it work? Again, Disney was tight-lipped when it came to the numbers. However, the event was successful enough that it was extended past the summer of 1985 and through the first half of 1986. They just started to cycle through the nations of World Showcase again. Eventually, the festival unceremoniously came to an end, with France being the focus in May of 1986. WorldFest did help to bring more locals to the park, but in a way, it faced the same issue that Epcot did before the festival began. After running through each country once, it's hard to get people to pay to come back for a second run-through. So while Epcot's WorldFest came to an end, the challenge to win over guests did not. The late 1980s and early 1990s saw multiple attempts to pull people into Epcot and World Showcase, including some bizarre ones like a Barbie-themed stage show and a sci-fi water splash-tacular. It was a challenge that came with building a place that was so atypical from what people had come to expect from a theme park. In 1994, Disney would introduce the International Flower and Garden Festival, and shortly after that, they'd expand to the Food and Wine Festival. Since then, we've also gotten the Festival of the Arts and the Festival of the Holidays. Today, Epcot sees some of its busiest days during festivals. It keeps World Showcase in a state of change, and it all started with WorldFest.